Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.
Georgian President Salome Zurabishvili echoed the dispersal of December 3 night protests in Georgia. Tonight marks a troubling escalation. Peaceful demonstrations barely began when crackdown started. This is an attack on freedom of expression and the right to protest, basic right violated, not to mention the way people are arrested and treated once detained, she wrote on the platform X. According to the president, Georgian people demand their European future back. Across Georgia, people are rising against the Russian puppetry regime from the capital to the smallest towns. This is a movement unlike anything in our history. The message is clear. Give me my vote back. Give me my European future back, she said. It's clear to everyone that the opposition has been preparing not for elections but for the post-election period, aiming for disorder and public confrontation, stated Tbilisi Mayor Kaladze during municipal government meeting. Kaladze emphasized that Georgia's government is committed to safeguarding the interests of the country and its citizens. The government has the support and trust of vast majority of Georgian population, as demonstrated in the recent elections, where more than 1 million people voted for peace, prosperity, economic development and dignified European future. I want to thank these individuals once again. The Georgian government will champion our nation's interests and will not allow the implementation of scenarios scripted abroad by stateless agents who operate comfortably within our borders. The government has taken numerous steps to prevent this, some of which have been difficult and, I must admit, unpopular, but they have proven to be correct and are aimed at defending our country's interests. The information we have mandated to be transparent is available for anyone to review and analyze the ongoing processes, he noted. Georgian Prime Minister Erkel on Wednesday said both domestic economy and exchange rate of national currency lari would stabilize on the backdrop of political instability and ongoing public protests against the government's suspension of European Union accession talks, adding the country was poised to achieve at least 9.5% growth by the end of the year. Kobakhidze highlighted the current economic growth rate was higher compared to the last year. Economic growth continues at a fast pace. The data from October shows an 11% growth rate, leading to an average of 10% economic growth over the past 10 months. We have double-digit economic growth this year, which is higher than last year. Of course, this process will continue, he said. The Prime Minister noted the several days of unrest might cause some temporary fluctuations in the exchange rate of lari. The lari will stabilize as it happened in the case of previous fluctuations. The exchange rate of the lari used to change for a few days, then return to its original value. It will be the same now. The exchange rate of the lari will stabilize. The economy will stabilize as well, he said. We'll have a very high level of economic growth. Last year's growth rate was 7.8%, and this year we anticipate an even greater increase. This growth is occurring amidst backdrop of radicalism, particularly during the election period, which has not been a calm environment, Kobakhidze added. In November 2024, the consumer price index increased by 0.7% compared to the previous month, while the annual inflation rate amounted to 1.3%. With regard to the annual core inflation, the price increased by 1.6%, while the annual core inflation without tobacco also amounted to 1.7%, according to the preliminary data from the National Statistics Office of Georgia. The annual inflation rate was mainly influenced by price change for the following groups: food and non-alcoholic beverages. The price in the group increased by 3.1%, contributing 1 percentage points to the overall annual inflation rate. Within the group, the prices increased for the following subgroups: vegetables, coffee, tea, cocoa, sugar, jam, honey, chocolate, confectionery, mineral water, soft drinks, fruit, vegetables, oils, fats, fruit and grapes, fish, bread, cereal, meat. At the same time, the price decreased for milk, cheese and eggs. Alcoholic beverages and tobacco. The price increased by 5.1% with the relevant contribution of 0.34 percentage point to the overall annual inflation rate. The prices increased for both alcoholic beverages and tobacco. Communication. The price decreased by 12.9%, contributing 0.48 percentage point decrease to the overall inflation. Housing. Water, electricity, gas and other fuels. The price for the group decreased by 3.7%, contributing 0.32 percentage points decrease to the overall index. The price will lower for the subgroups of electricity, gas and other fuels and actual rentals for housing. At the same time, the price increased for maintenance and repair of dwelling. Miscellaneous goods and services. The price for the group increased by 6.6%, contributing 0.35 percentage points to the overall index. Within the group, the price were higher mainly for the following subgroups: personal effects, insurance, financial services, and personal care. The National Bank of Georgia on Wednesday rejected misinformation circulating on social media regarding alleged restriction on foreign currency deposits and transfers at domestic commercial banks, emphasizing there were no limitations on conversion of deposits into foreign currency or on the transfers of funds abroad. The central bank reassured the public about the stability of banking sector, noting it had been strengthened by recent policies and positive macroeconomic trends. Domestic banks have sufficient buffers to withdraw even the most severe shocks. The total volume of liquid assets exceeds 18 billion lari and it's primarily held in foreign currency. There is no threat to deposit services, the NBG said. If necessary, banks have access to additional credit lines and can raise funds from foreign financial institutions. Furthermore, the NBG has various tools available to support the sector if the need arises, the body added. Furthermore, the central bank also said fluctuations of Georgian national currency lari were driven by current processes in comments that come amid political instability during ongoing protests in the country against the government's decision to suspend the European Union accession talks until 2028. Otherwise, stable inflows and strong fundamentals ensure stability in foreign exchange market, the bank said. The unit value index of agricultural products decreased by 4.1% compared to the previous quarter, according to the preliminary data from the National Statistics Office of Georgia. As of the document, the change was mainly due to a 22% decrease in the unit value of perennial crops, which contributed minus 7.36 percentage points to the total index change. Compared to the corresponding quarter of the previous year, the unit value index of agricultural products increased by 0.6%. The latter was largely caused by the 5.8% increase in the unit value of perennial crops, which contributed 1.88 percentage points to the total index change. In the same period, the unit value of non-perennial crops went down by 5.3%, by 0.05% for live animals and animal products, with the relevant contribution of minus 1.25 and 0.05 percentage points to the total index change, respectively.
The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.